because you cannot be confident if you do not believe that you are of some worth, and you have to carry yourself in a certain way and be mature. Be socially mature, exactly. Make sure you don't settle for less. Never bring yourself down to try and be amongst a crowd, because maybe you're not meant to fit in, you are born to stand out. Okay, thank you. The first tip that I would give is to learn how to be comfortable in your own company. I feel like this is a really important thing that a lot of young people need to learn, teenagers, kids. You won't always have your friends with you, and so independence is a really vital life skill. But not to say that it's not good to ask people for things, but I think it's good to do that. And you have to learn to be comfortable with yourself as well and your own company before you advance into friendships and relationships, because what I realized with a lot of my friends as well, you wouldn't feel comfortable in yourself and you'd always try and find that comfort in another person. You can't be doing that in like relationships and things, specifically because we're so young and we're so vulnerable, but also just because this stage in life is not to rely on another person. It's to learn how to be by yourself and learn and grow and those types of things. And it really shows that a person doesn't know how to be by themselves if they're always trying to cling on to another person. You maybe if you're in a relationship, you break up and you keep going to another person without stopping and reflecting and really analyzing yourself and your behavior. Being comfortable with myself is what made it easier for me to understand what friend groups I was really a part of and which ones I was kind of just clinging on to. The second one is to learn when you're not wanted, which is kind of what I was talking about. And this is a hard but vital skill, and it requires a lot of emotional intelligence. And it's something that I had to learn to do, and I had to really learn to look for the signs. But nobody's going to tell you explicitly, oh, we really want you to hang out, or why are you hanging out with us? Nobody's going to tell you that, but you need to look at the signs and analyze people's behavior. And so when I was always the person who was asking to hang out, you're always the person who is texting, and you realize that if you stop texting this other person, they're actually never going to text you. They're never going to check up on you. So you always have to kind of wonder, is this a relationship I'm supposed to be a part of? It has to be equal. It has to be 50-50. It can't be 70-30, and it cannot be a one-sided relationship, because that isn't a relationship. That's like transactional. You're only texting them or calling them when you need something or when you need an answer to something. So it's really, really important that you actually get to understand that and get to see that in your life, which friendships and relationships we're actually growing in together, and we are both putting in effort, because that's what a relationship should be. Though I also had to realize that similarly to myself, those people may be going through the similar struggles that I go through, in terms of like, maybe I forget to reply to a text, maybe like, my head is just consumed with so many thoughts. I have so many people that I want to catch up on, and you kind of lose sight of some people, obviously unintentionally. So always like keep that in the back of your mind, that maybe some people, maybe people do have the intention, because sometimes maybe if I text someone who hasn't texted me in a while, they'll tell me, oh my gosh, I was like thinking about you or something like that. So yeah, it always have that little bit of caution, because it's not always that people's intention is just to ignore you and block you and to not really have a relationship with you, but always think of it in a sense of like, person might just be struggling to remember to connect with other people, just like how you would as well. The third one is to know your self-worth. This is very, very important, and it makes it easier to stand tall when others are trying to belittle you or overlook you. But you know your self-worth, and you know the things that you're not going to take, and your boundaries that you don't want to be crossed. And what is one of the first steps to becoming confident is knowing your self-worth, because you cannot be confident if you do not believe that you are of some worth. If you do not believe that you are supposed to be respected in a certain way or looked at in a certain way. You have to hold yourself high, and you have to carry yourself in a certain way and be mature, be socially mature. Exactly. The fourth one is to know your value. So when picking a friend or partner, you want the ideal and most compatible person for you. So you have to know the values that you'd like to see in a person. And this is also what I was talking about boundaries. In relationships, people say about their standards. It's kind of a similar thing, because you are up here, like we are all up here. It would never make sense to be with someone down here, obviously, and I always had that type of like helper mentality. Oh, I'm meant to help this person, I'm meant to help this person, and you keep bringing yourself down. Stay here. Stay here, please. Stay here. And make sure you don't settle for less. Exactly what I was talking about with the standards. Make sure you don't settle for less, else you'll get yourself into a lot of fleeting relationships, okay? You don't want that. You do not want that at all. And you want to have just amazing relationships with people who will actually understand you. And I had this joke with my parents that like I'll not like a lot of people my age, and I was kind of like, but like really it is, because it's this thing about social maturity. I'm seeing how people are, you know. I read this one quote that's like, you can really tell a person's character by what they choose to laugh at. It's all these things about maturity and social maturity, and obviously, you know, you can take jokes and things like that, but it's also just knowing your standard. Never bring yourself down to fit in, never bring yourself down to try and be amongst a crowd, because maybe you're not meant to fit in, you are born to stand out. Okay, thank you. Okay, there's no point in bringing yourself down when you're already here. Stay here. Other people can meet you here. You'll never meet somebody like down there. Okay, you have to keep your standards. So I hope this video helped you. I hope this video helped you. Maybe you can, you know, analyze your life a bit more and your relationships and really understand who you are as a person and level up. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you like the topic that I talked about, that's great. And if you have any more topic ideas that you would like me to discuss, please put them in the comment section, and I would greatly appreciate that, because I'd love to make videos for you guys and videos that you suggest as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more of me, you can follow my TikTok as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Amarachi. Keep chatting. Bye.